there's a decentralized exchange that just launched on Arbitrum, and it has the potential to be the best layer 2 DEX out there. So in this video, I want to discuss why that matters, why you should try it out, and why everyone may be using it come next bull market. Now, this is a sponsored video, but I'm not here to shill anything to you. I mean, it is a DEX after all. My goal here is to simply put it on your radar, let you know some facts about it, and hey, maybe you want to check it out afterwards. So this DEX is called Integral Size, but before we dig into the details, I want to talk about the why. Like, why is this a big deal, and why should you care? So if you've been following the evolution of Ethereum, you'll know that using layer 2 blockchains are the future of the scalability roadmap, because the ultimate goal is to provide the best user experience possible, and layer 2s play a key role in that. They're just as fast and cheap as Solana or Avalanche, but they're secured by the world-class network of Ethereum validators. So it's not crazy to imagine that in a few years, most people will be trading on layer 2 DEXs instead of what we use now like Uniswap or SushiSwap on Ethereum. But there is one big problem though, and that's the fact that it is early for the layer 2 space. So even the largest L2s like Arbitrum have a lot less liquidity flowing around its DEXs than their counterparts on the Ethereum mainnet. So if you are an early adopter and you try to trade on there, you're probably going to get higher slippage and impact the price more. So you end up receiving less coins when swapping the same amount. That's definitely not good, right? It holds back adoption on these layer 2 networks. That's why Integral Size was created, and they aim to fix that problem by letting people trade on their Arbitrum DEX with minimal slippage and zero price impact, even for large trades. Okay, so what is Integral Size and how do they deliver on their goals? Well, their ultimate goal is the same as most DEXs, to deliver the best trading outcome for their users. And Integral Size aims to serve all types of users with different trade types and sizes, like both small guppies and large whales. I'm talking retail traders like you and I, DAOs with large treasuries, institutions, and pro traders with a huge stack. Integral wants to serve everyone. Now, those are just some of the common use cases that they've seen so far, but there may be even more that haven't been imagined yet that could be served by their unique DEX. So let's talk about their unique approach, because they do things differently than most other DEXs. Like, they execute your trade using a TWAP, or time weighted average price. Usually how a TWAP works is a trader splits a big trade into a bunch of smaller orders and then spreads that out over a period of time so it doesn't impact the price as much as if they just smashed the buy or sell button with the entire stack. But Integral Size's approach is a little different because they use an external oracle to get the spot price of a token on Uniswap over a 30-minute period. And then they execute your trade at that 30-minute average price. That's the way they do TWAP. And so there is a built-in trade delay as a result of their approach. It's really quite simple, but it's also unique because A, they don't have their own AMM curve. They're just giving you the TWAP price from other DEXs. So your trade doesn't move the price on any outside market at all. And B, you're actually trading against Integral's own liquidity pools and liquidity providers. So they take that TWAP price, right? And they execute your order against their own liquidity. So this is a very different approach from a DEX aggregator that takes your order and routes it to other DEXs for execution. Okay, so let's take a step back and look at the major benefits of their approach. 1, we already mentioned the zero price impact even for larger trades. 2, they can offer us zero slippage on trades because they're using an average price and executing it against their own pools. And 3, their 30-minute delay makes it so that arbitragers or MEV bots cannot front run your order and negatively impact your price. All of this is pretty important to our experience when trading on DEXs, and these advantages really sets them apart from their competitors. Like, most DEXs focus on price discovery. Like, arbitragers are racing to bring the latest prices of some token pair to those DEXs. And that's usually a good thing, right? I mean, those activities are essential for the crypto ecosystem to function. But it can also be unfriendly to us traders because it gives us higher risk of slippage and front running. And those are the hidden costs that affect the eventual price that we get for our trades or swaps. That's why Integral Size protects against those actions to deliver their own experience. Their whole strategy is to let you capture trades at average prices on outside markets without making a splash and impacting those markets. That way they can deliver a simple, accessible, fair, secure, and transparent experience, which is what all DEXs should strive for. Okay, so integral size just launched on Arbitrum, but that doesn't mean that they just started recently. In fact, they have another DEX called Integral 5 that's been running on Ethereum mainnet since early 2021. That was a little different than the size implementation. Like 5 only had a 5-minute TWAP, and they also did have some price impact, although a small amount. Integral 5 was able to do close to 500 million in trading volume so far, and it honestly was a great learning experience for the team because it helped them design and build out the integral size DEX to be as formidable as it is. And launching on Arbitrum is just the beginning for them, because they have an ambitious roadmap ahead, like launching on other layer 2s, adding limit orders, supporting more token pairs, etc. One thing I'm personally excited about is them adding an atomic relayer to their DEX, because that'll let them handle atomic swaps. And once that happens, they can integrate with DEX aggregators, which would help bring more usage and volume to their DEX. So there's a lot of stuff to be on the lookout for, but overall, I really like the roadmap they've laid out, and if they're able to execute on it, then they could really become the pro version of Uniswap that they aim to be. And you know what really excites me? It's the fact that Integral is solving these problems that could be the key to more institutional adoption. Because this past bull cycle, we already saw institutions come into crypto, but most of them went with centralized services and avoided DeFi. Why did they do that, you may ask? Well, because trading costs were high, there were security concerns, and they had to deal with compliance issues as well. So if DeFi wants to see more adoption, then they need to address all of those issues. And Integral is working to address a couple of them. So that's why I think they could be a key part in helping bring a new wave of adoption during the next cycle. Now, just because I like Integral and their approach with size doesn't mean they are perfect. There are some areas I want to see them improve on. Like, they definitely got to execute on their roadmap in a timely manner. They also just got to grow more in terms of liquidity, volume, and trading activity. Now, this is a bear market, so I don't expect it to rocket, but slow and steady is the name of the game here. I also want them to build a long track record without any big security incidents. So actually, I think it's good if they grow in a slow and steady manner instead of go too big too fast and potentially face some exploit. If they can do all of that, then I think they're well on their way to become the best Arbitrum DEX and eventually the best layer 2 DEX of them all. Now, if you're curious about integral size and want to learn more, or try them out on Arbitrum, then just use my link in the description below.